All right. This is my Wilson current mirror. In the last class, we derived what is I naught by I reference in this, right? We'll just have a small recap. Okay. The thing is, in Wilson current mirror, we have to assume one thing. We have to assume, okay, assume that collector currents of Q1 and Q2 are same. Okay, this is the assumption. Okay, so when I write it like this, when the collector current of Q2 is IC and the collector current of Q, okay, this is Q1, this is Q1. Sorry. All right. So collector currents of Q2 and Q1 are IC, right? Then their corresponding base currents, one in this direction, the other in this direction, that will be IC by beta. This will also be IC by beta. Okay, and if you apply KCL at this point, okay, so this current will be 2 IC by beta, right? If you apply KCL at this point, okay, then this current, okay, this current will actually be IC plus 2 IC by beta. Okay, so that will be actually, if I take common, IC into 1 plus 2 by beta. Okay, so that is this current is the emitter current for Q3. It is the emitter current for Q3. Therefore, this current, okay, that will be the base current of Q3. So what is the relation between emitter current and base current? Right, emitter current here is 1 plus beta times IB, and collector current is beta times IB. This we already know, right? So this current will be IC into 1 plus 2 by beta divided by beta plus 1. This is the base current seen at Q3. So this all we derived in the last class, right? So from this, now I know what is the base current of Q3. I know the emitter current of Q3. I can find collector current of Q3, which is nothing but I naught. So I naught here is collector current of Q3. So I can write I naught as, so therefore I naught I have written as which is beta times base current of 3. This is IB3. Remember, this is not this, sorry. This is IB3. Okay, base current of Q3. Right. So this is IC into 1 plus 2 by beta into beta divided by 1 plus beta. Okay. So this is I naught. This I will mark as equation 1. And if I look at this point here, okay, if I apply KCL at this point, I will get I reference as IC plus IC into 1 plus 2 by beta divided by 1 plus beta. Right, KCL at this point. Right, so this I will call it as equation 2. Right, therefore 1 by 2, equation 1 divided by equation 2. Okay, that should give me I naught by I reference. Okay, which is 1 divided by 1 plus 2 by beta divided by 2 plus beta. Okay, you can sit and solve this. Okay, you will get this. Right, if you take beta to the denominator, you will get 2 beta plus beta square. Beta square is obviously much greater than 2 beta. So this entire thing can be approximated as 1 by 1 plus 2 by beta square. Okay, so here beta square is much greater than 2 beta. So this is the current transfer ratio of a Wilson current mirror. So obviously I have a beta square term here. So if I put beta is equal to 100, this I naught by I reference will be somewhere around 0.9998. Okay, that means you get an error ratio of 0.02%, right? So this I can mention it here, gives an error percentage of 0.02%. Okay, how you get this? Substitute beta equal to 100. Okay, substitute beta equal to 100, find out what is I naught by I reference, right? So this is where we finished off in the last class. Okay, now what we'll look at is we'll look at how to calculate the output resistance. Okay, if you look at this diagram, how to find this R naught. Okay, so always remember, whenever you are calculating R naught for any circuit, okay, all of its sources should be 0, right? So here to calculate R naught, this I reference should actually be 0. It means it is open circuited, right? So slightly redrawing the diagram. Okay, I'll write calculation of output resistance. Okay, calculation of output resistance. Right. So here make I references 0. Okay. So how the circuit looks like? So here you will have Q2 like this. This one is Q1. This is anyway grounded. Right, we had minus VE here. Okay, this was minus VE. I have written it as ground. That's not ground, it is minus VE. Okay, and this is VCC. Right, so minus VE, all the sources should be 0. Right, so and VCC is equal to minus VE equal to 0. Okay, so this is Q1, this is Q1, Q2, then here you have another input, another transistor. Okay. Move slightly down. Yeah. So this is Q3. Okay, from this I have to measure R naught in this direction. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll at the output side I'll measure this Vx like this, and the current flowing like this I will call it as Ix. Okay, current flowing I will call it as Ix, such that Vx by Ix will give me R naught. Okay, so this one goes to the base of Q3, this one are connected like this. Right, so measure the voltage seen here, I will call it as V. Right, oh sorry, this voltage I will call it as V. Okay, Q1, Q2, Q3, Vx by Ix should give me R naught. Okay, okay, I'll assume the current which is flowing here, okay, by virtue of Vx, this V I will call it as I. Okay, so this current will be I by beta. Okay, base current, collector current, right? Remember, we assume that Q1 and Q2 have the same currents flowing. So this current will also be I. Okay, which makes this current also I by beta, right? Which makes this current as 2I by beta. Okay, 2I by beta. That is, if you apply KCL at this point, you will get 2I by beta. So if you apply KCL at this point, this current you will get it as I plus 2I by beta. Okay, I plus 2I by beta. Okay, here Q3 will have a resistance here. Okay, across it, like this. Till here, should have drawn it neatly. All right. This current is this. Okay, this resistance I will call it as R naught. Okay, this I will call it as R naught. Right. So if this current is I, this current will also be I. Okay, collector current of Q2 is I, and collector of Q2 is connected to base of Q3. So both the currents will be same. Right. If base current of Q3 is I, okay, its collector current, which is like this, that will be beta times I. Okay, beta times I, and the emitter current which I see, which will be in this direction. Okay, that will be 1 plus beta times I. Okay, carefully look at analyze this a little carefully. One, collector of Q2 is attached to base of Q3. Okay, so whatever current is flowing through, whatever collector current is flowing through Q2, collector of Q2, that same current will flow in the base of Q3. So both of them will be I, and the directions also will be same, right? Then collector current of Q3 will be beta times I, okay, which will be in the upwards direction, like this, right? And the emitter current will be 1 plus beta times I, which will be also upwards. Now why upwards? So that you have to maintain this IE is equal to IC plus IB, right? You have to maintain this, right? So that is why all the current directions are opposite. Right. Now, if you look at current through R naught, okay, current through R naught, this current, okay, I'll write it here, current through R naught, okay, that will be, how will you get it? That is obtained by applying KCL at this node, okay. So that will be combination of 1 plus beta I and combination of this, right? Apply KCL at this point, at this node, okay, just at the emitter of Q3, okay. Then you will get, I will write it as IR naught, okay, IR naught as, just a second, rearrange this slightly. Vx by Ix will give me R naught. So current at R naught. Okay, that I will call it as IR naught is 1 plus beta times I, which is the emitter current of Q3, plus the current flowing downwards towards the collector of Q1, that is I plus 2I by beta. So I into 1 plus 2 by beta. Okay. So remember this point, if this is Q3, this is Q3, this is R naught. Okay. This current is I plus 2I by beta. Okay, this current is 1 plus beta into I. Okay, which makes this current as, if you apply KCL in this direction, this current will be summation of this current and this current. Right, so that is what I have written. IR naught is equal to 1 plus beta into I plus I into 1 plus 2 by beta. Right, solve it. Okay, solve it. I mean, simplify it. You should get IR naught equals to I into beta plus 2 plus 2 by beta. Okay, we'll keep this aside for now. Right, I need this IR naught. Why? Because I need IR naught to calculate IX. Okay, that is why. So if you look at, if I designate this node, if I look at this node, I'll call this node as B. Okay, now if I look at node B, okay, at node B, okay, at node B, right, apply KVL, apply, not KVL, KCL, apply KCL. So what will you get? From this you will get that Ix is equal to, or I should write Ix plus, Ix is the current which is entering the node, beta times I is the current which is entering that node B, exiting current is current through IR naught. So Ix plus beta times I is IR naught. Okay, that is why I have to find out IR naught, to find out Ix. Okay, so from this you can find, you can write Ix is equal to IR naught minus beta times I. Okay, which is 2I times 1 plus 1 by beta. Okay, beta I will get cancelled, remaining things I have written. So Ix is this, so this I will call it as equation 1. Next we have to find Vx, so that Vx by Ix will give you R out, R naught, okay, output resistance. So Vx here is, finding Vx. Okay, so Vx here is voltage drop across R naught, that is this voltage drop across R naught plus this voltage. Okay, so Vx is voltage drop across R naught plus the small v. Okay, this is voltage drop across R naught. This is the base emitter voltage. Base emitter voltage of Q1 and Q2. Okay, base emitter voltage of Q1 and Q2. But if you remember V here, okay, V, I can write V as IE times RE. Okay, IE times RE, where IE is the emitter current. Okay, IE is the emitter current, and RE is actually the emitter base. Okay, I'll write it clearly. Base emitter junction resistance. Okay, always think, remember that base emitter is forward biased, right? So this RE is actually forward biased resistance, so which is actually a very small value, right? Now I know what is IE, which is this current. This is current. This is IE, right? So IE here is simply 1 plus 1 by beta into I. Okay, collector current which is IC plus collector current which is IC, which is I, plus base current which is I by beta. So summation of them you should get emitter current. So it is IE is 1 plus 1 by beta into I. So this also will be same, 1 plus 1 by beta into I. Okay. So here finally we can write, therefore V is equal to 1 plus 1 by beta into I into R. Okay. So V I have found out. Next I have to find out what is VR naught. So VR naught is IR naught into R naught. Okay, simple, right? So this is I into beta plus 2 plus 2 by beta into R naught. Okay, so V you have found out, VR naught you have found out. Find Vx now. Therefore, Vx is equal to 1 plus 1 by beta into I into Re plus I into beta plus 2 plus 2 by beta into R naught. So this I will call it as equation 2. Okay, so equation 1 is Ix, equation 2 is Vx, therefore 2 by 1. Okay, 2 by 1. So which gives me Vx by Ix. Okay, Vx by Ix. So this is I into 1 plus 1 by beta into Re plus I into beta plus 2 plus 2 by beta into R naught divided by, okay, Vx is done. Ix is 2 into I into 1 plus 1 by beta. Okay, let me check. See, 2I into 1 plus 1 by beta. Vx is this. So solve this. Okay, all i's will get cancelled. I and I is gone. So from this I can write it as beta plus 1 by beta into Re plus beta square plus 2 beta plus 2 by beta into R naught divided by beta plus 1 by beta into 2 into this, right? So everywhere beta will get cancelled, and divide the entire thing with this is Vx by Ax. Divide the entire thing with beta plus 1. So this is Vx by Ax is equal to Re by 2 plus, you should get beta square plus 2 beta plus 2 divided by 2 into beta plus 1 into R naught. Okay, so Re is a very small value. Okay, see, base emitter junction is anyway forward biased. Forward bias resistance will be very small. So this part you can actually neglect. When you compare it with R naught is a very large value, right? So when you compare it with R naught, Re is a very small value, and in this beta square is very much greater than 2 beta. Okay, so you can approximate R out as, therefore R naught, okay, R naught as beta times R naught divided by 2. Okay, beta times R naught divided by 2. Okay, another assumption here is beta is very much greater than 1. Okay, with all these assumptions, the final value of R naught will be this. Okay, I hope this is clear. So here you can say that, you can assume that, you can say that, you can conclude that output resistance is increased or scaled by beta by 2. Okay, it is actually scaled by beta by 2, right? So if you take a normal regular BJT current mirror, okay, there your output resistance was simply R naught, not beta by 2. It was simply R naught, right? But by using a Wilson current mirror, you're improving the accuracy of your current transfer ratio, as well as increasing the output resistance to beta by 2. Okay, right? So your Wilson current here provides both the advantages, increases the accuracy as well as increases the output resistance, right? But there is a problem here, okay, a drawback you can say. The drawback here is, if you look at the main diagram, this Wilson current main diagram, you can see that the assumption we have made is both the collector currents at Q1 and Q2 are same, right? But the collector emitter voltages of both Q1 Q2, that is VCE, okay, that is not same. Okay, so because it is not properly balanced, okay, both Q1 and Q2, if you take this wing, okay, this wing, if you take this wing and this wing, okay, it is not properly balanced, right? So there might be some current offsets, okay, between I naught and I reference, right? So to balance that, we add another BJT Q4 at the top of Q2, okay. That BJT also you call it as a diode connected BJT, that is its collector and base are both connected. So the actual diagram, okay, the balanced diagram which you get, that will look like this. I'll draw this. Okay. So the balanced diagram will look like this. So this is VCC, this is I reference. Okay. Here you'll have another new transistor Q4, which is the diode connected transistor. Here you have your Q2 as usual. Q2. This will go to this. This is Q3. This is Q1. This is minus VE. Alright. So this one is like this. Here you will have V naught, and this is I naught. Okay. This is actually a modified diagram. Modified diagram. I shouldn't say diagram, I should say Wilson current mirror. Wilson current mirror, which will remove the offset currents developed, okay, due to different, okay, due to different VCE of Q1 and Q2, of Q1 and Q2. Okay, so the extra transistor which you are using is this. This is the extra transistor which you are using. Okay. Okay. Now, if you look at both these wings, this side and this side, both of them are completely balanced, right? So there will not be any offset currents. Okay. Offset means if this is I, this will be some I plus delta I. Small changes. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay. So this is Wilson current, Wilson BJT, current mirror. Similarly, you have a Wilson MOS mirror. Same logic. Okay. Draw it. Wilson MOS mirror. Okay, so here we have this. Instead of BJTs, we have this is VDD. We have MOSFETs. This is I reference. This is like this. Then this is like this. This is ground. This is goes like this. This is V naught. This is I naught. This is I naught. Right. So if I call this as Q2, Q1, Q3. Okay. So this is actually a Wilson current mirror, but instead of using BJT, you are using MOSFETs. Okay. This thing. Right. This is a Wilson MOS current mirror. Again, the same problem applies here. If you look at this, there is a difference between drain source voltages. Should write VDS. VDS of Q1 and Q2. Okay. Difference between voltage drain source voltages of Q1 and Q2. So what I do, I add another transistor here, so as to remove this offset. Okay, so modified version I will draw here. So here you will have I reference. Here you will have so this is I naught. This is, I will call it as Q4, Q3, Q1. This is ground. This is Q2. Right. So here you are adding this. Right, to nullify the current offsets developed due to difference of VDS for Q1 and Q2. Right. So see, when you consider any MOSFETs, MOS current mirrors, right, you don't have a problem with current transfer ratios. The accuracy is good because your base current, there is no base current here, right? You don't have the term beta, right? So your accuracy of your current transfer ratios is good, right? Here gate currents are 0, so not a problem. But here I have to find out what is my output resistance, right? So next one is finding out or calculation of output resistance. Output resistance. Right. So same thing, make all sources 0. Make all sources equal to 0. So now if I draw it, okay, this one is a little tricky, so pay attention. Okay, this is ground, this is Q1, no Q2, this is Q1. Okay, this goes to another transistor. drain of Q2 is directly connected to gate of Q3. So this is Q3. Same thing what we did last time. I'll connect a voltage source here. I will call it as Vx. Current I will call it as Ix. Therefore, R out which I measure, R naught which I measure is Vx by Ix. Okay. Right. Right. So for this, I have to mention all the output resistances R naught 3 for each of the MOSFETs. Right. So here R naught 3, R naught 1, and R naught 2. Right. This voltage I will call it as V. This voltage I will call it as V. Now, if I assume for Q3, if this I assume this to be drain current ID, okay, same this will also be ID, okay, because gate current is 0, right? And if this is Ix, if this is Ix, this current should also be Ix because no gate current, right? Now, see here, same thing, there how we made collector currents to be same, okay, same collector currents, right? Here I am going to make the drain currents of both Q1 and Q2 to be same, right? So drain current of Q1 is same as Ix, which will be this, right? Drain currents of both Q1 and Q2 will be Ix. I hope this much you have understood, right? Now if you look at Q2, okay, drain current is Ix, then the voltage, the same Ix will flow like this. Why? Because if you consider this a loop, okay, this entire thing to be a loop, the source is shorted with drain, okay, through a R02, okay, the output resistance of Q2, right? Then the voltage at this point, okay, at this node, the voltage will be minus Ix into R02, okay. Apply KVL in this loop. In this loop, you apply KVL. That is what you get, minus Ix into R02, okay. Then, if you look at the voltage at this point, okay, voltage at this point, that will be Ix divided by GM1, okay, because you can say that ID is GM into VGS, therefore VGS is ID by GM, okay. So voltage at this point is Ix by GM1, therefore V is also Ix by GM1. Clear? Okay. Now if you apply KCL at this point, okay, at this point the current entering is ID, the current exiting is Ix. So this current has to be Ix minus ID. So this current has to be Ix minus ID. Okay. How? KVL, KCL, right? Now I have to find what is the gate voltage of Q3. Okay. See, gate voltage of Q3 is this voltage minus Ix into R02, because that is the terminal, that is the voltage which is applying to gate, right? So I'll write it here. Gate voltage at Q3, okay, that is, I will call it as VG3, okay, which is how much? Minus Ix into R02, okay, minus Ix into R02. Similarly, source voltage at Q3, same thing, which is this. Okay, so that is Ix by Gm1. So Vs3 is Ix by Gm1. Therefore, Vgs3 is Vg3 minus Vs3, which is minus Ix R02 minus Ix by Gm1. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, then in that case, I know what is VGS3, right? Then if I look at transistor Q3, for transistor Q3, okay, VGS3, I can write it as, or I should write, I'll better write it like this, ID, okay, right? Drain current is ID. So ID here is Gm3 into VGS3, right? Why I have to calculate ID? Because Ix is actually a value dependent on ID, right? So ID here is, therefore ID equals to Gm3 times minus Ix R02 minus Ix by Gm1. Okay. Now this is ID now. Okay. Now let us calculate Vx now. Okay, I have to do Vx by X, right? So Vx here is voltage drop across R0, this one, and voltage V. Addition of these two voltages will give me Vx. Same thing what we did last time, right? So Vx is equal to VR03 plus V. Okay, so VR03 here is voltage drop across R03. V is gate source voltage. Of Q1. Gate source voltage of Q1 is same as drain source voltage. Okay, drain source voltage, because both drain and gate are shorted, right? So VGS1 is same as VDS1, right? So substitute all the values. Therefore Vx is minus what was IR03. I'll write it IR03 into R03 plus V. V was Ix by Gm1. Okay. Now IR03, the current flowing through R03 is Ix minus ID. It is actually Ix minus ID. So I'll put it here. So this is Ix minus ID into R03 plus Ix by Gm1. Okay. So Ix value you substitute. ID value you substitute. So minus Gm3 into minus, clearly I will write. Okay, Ix minus Gm3 into minus Ix R02 okay, Ix R02 minus Ix minus Gm, Ix by Gm1 into R03 plus Ix by Gm1. Okay, so this actually is ID. This entire thing is actually ID. Okay, so again solve it. You should get R naught is equal to Vx by Ix. I mean, take Ix common throughout. Okay, so you should get 1 by Gm 1 plus R naught 3 in brackets Gm 3 R naught 2, then plus Gm 3 by Gm 1. Okay, plus 1. Right, this is R naught, and this is the actual formula for R naught, right? But assumptions, right? If you take assumptions, so assumptions here are, okay, Gm to be sorry, Gm3 R naught 2 is actually greater than Gm3 by Gm1 and 1. Okay, therefore R naught you should get it as R naught 3 R naught 2 Gm3 plus 2. Okay, so again, therefore R naught is finally Gm3 R naught 3 times R naught. Okay, so this is your this is the actual R out which you get, not actual value but approximate value, right? So here if you look, this one, okay, so this is actually intrinsic gain of Q3, right? So if you look at the diagram now, okay, so the output impedance which you see in this direction, R naught, okay, that will be intrinsic gain times R naught 2, right? Intrinsic gain times R naught 2, right? I hope it is clear. So this is the R out value which you get for a Wilson Moss mirror. Okay, we'll stop now. Any queries till here?
No, sir.
All right. All right then. We'll continue. There's one more topic left in your module 4, a Wildar current source. That I will take it up tomorrow. Okay. So with that we can wind up. Finally, we can wind up module 4. Then we'll start looking at differential amplifiers. All right.